Hello and welcome to the Hawke Optics British Mini Rifle Championship, a sport that involves accuracy, manoeuvrability, tactics and more importantly speed. We have 6 rounds all hosted here at Silverstone Shooting Centre, and joining me right now is the owner, John Thorne. John, practical shooting, tell us about it.
Yeah, it's all very different. First time ever in the UK we've got a practical championship being shown, and the main thing to explain to people is that normally in competitive shooting the competitor is stationary and they shoot a target, which is normally stationary. In practical shooting it's a very dynamic sport, so it's a question of literally running around a range, shooting different targets at different distances, and also it's a moving target as well. So it's a much more active sport.
A lot of tactics involved around the range, so tell us a bit how that works.
Well, yeah, I mean, the main thing about practical shooting is that because you're moving around the range, it's a bit like chess. You've got targets spread around the range, different kinds of targets, and the question is obviously to try and engage those targets as fast as possible, but obviously getting the highest score. So it's both being accurate on the target, but also doing it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there's a handoff, isn't there, between accuracy and your manoeuvrability and your agility and your ability to use a rifle.
Well, yeah, this is mini rifle. So there are different classifications of practical shooting. There's shotgun, there's mini rifle, and also in the UK it's what's called LBP, which is our version of pistol. But the concepts are the same. The competitor has to literally move around the range, getting within sight of a certain target, shooting that target, and then getting the best score on that target against the clock. It's all against the clock is a big thing, which is very different. It's a very dynamic sport in that regard.
You talk about speed. Speed is important as well as accuracy. Tell us a bit more about how it's measured.
Well, essentially what you have in most competitive shooting sports is all about accuracy. It's literally scoring the best bullet hole in the target for the best score. But with practical shooting, it's a more dynamic sport, so speed is of the essence. Everything we do is against the clock. So as fast as you can, shooting the target as fast as you can, give you the best score. So it gets to be a question of, when you look into a course of fire, which targets do you shoot? Is it a question of being more accurate on that target or to shoot it faster? And that's the perennial question about practical shooting. It's both speed and accuracy. Being very quick but inaccurate won't make you a win, and vice versa. Being very accurate but being slow also won't let you win.
And 6 stages as well, all at different distances. And it puts another challenge for the competitors as well.
Well, yeah, very much. Practical shooting, as I said, has shotgun and different versions. This is mini rifle, which is the longest distance we can shoot in the UK. So what we have is targets that could be anywhere from 1 metre away to 100 metres away. So it essentially means that the competitor needs to know and be accurate at very, very short distances, which sounds easy, but it can be quite difficult, but also at longer distances. Well, obviously taking more time to get a better score also pays off as well.
Well, there's a little bit of a background into a mini rifle. Stage 1 is about to get ready. Let's head out onto the stages. Well, this is the first stage out of 6 in the round 1 of the Hawke Optics British Mini Rifle Championship. John, what have we got here?
Little short stage, this one, Ant. You see the little red box is where the shooter must stay, and they must shoot the targets from underneath the barriers. But it starts off with the gun on the table, so the gun's loaded, but safety on, and then you have to start and rush the gun and then shoot the target. And they're all plate targets, this one, so 1 round to hit the target, it must fall to score. So you may have it, you'll shoot the plate, but it won't fall over, that won't score.
And let's remember, none of these guns are zeroed in at the minute, so it's going to be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, it was the first stage, and obviously we're through the COVID crisis at the moment. Not many people have shot much, so there's probably a few rusty trigger fingers out there at the moment.
So let's see who's up first. It's Marty Secker. First time shooter, Marty.
And he's shooting a Smith & Wesson, one of the more popular guns on the circuit.
First target now, missed a second.
Yeah, he's taking his time here, which is probably sensible first stage. Yep, down.
And over to the right.
Right, he's struggling at the further distance ones here. Ah, yes, he just manoeuvred there. He put his magnifier on so he could see the targets better because they're further away. The first target's only 10 metres, these are actually 30 metres away, so more of a struggle distance-wise. Have you got them all?
Yeah, that's all done. Yep. Well done, Marty.
First stage, always nerve-wracking.
There's somebody in the super senior category, Ronnie Graham, up against Paul van den Bosch.
Now, Ronnie's been shooting a long time. He's a very experienced competitor, but obviously super senior means he's over 60. I think he's 68, Ronnie. Still shooting well, so it's a sport that's good for all ages.
First target down.
See, it's quite awkward, but that barrier is just the right height, so you can't really kneel down easily and you can't really bend down, so it's quite awkward for him.
Is that DQ if you shoot through that?
If you shoot through the barrier, yes, that would be a procedural. The barriers you can see through for safety, but also you can't shoot through. It's fairly obvious there. If the range officer misses that, we'd be in trouble.
Ronnie taking his time here.
Yeah, he's gone to one knee. It's a more stable shooting position for him. And you notice how he's keeping the muzzle pointed downrange? That's crucial. That is a disqualification. If he sweeps that muzzle round beyond the 90 degree, and he's getting close to there, there'll be a disqualification.
Yeah, you got quite a lot to think about as well when you're on the stage, where your trigger finger is, where the muzzle's pointing.
Yeah, it's safety is crucial in this sport, and where your trigger finger is, and when you're moving the gun, and where the muzzle is pointed are two most important things. But Ronnie's an old hand at this, he shouldn't have a problem. And obviously, end of the stage, he clears the gun, then shows the range officer, which is James, the gun is clear to make sure. So there's no such thing as a loaded gun moves off stage.
Tony Porter, Smith & Wesson.
Tony's from a local club, Northampton Target Rifle Club in Northampton, believe it or not. And there's a few of them here shooting today. They normally shoot in our winter league here, which is a version of this, just less number of stages. So, but again, with so little shooting going on during the coronavirus, they're all a bit rusty. But he's doing well here. Nice, smooth shooting.
Down on a knee, good for stability.
It would be, but he's not. Normally, you go on one knee, you actually rest one elbow on your bent knee, and he's gone on one knee, and then both arms are in the air. So, not entirely sure how much more stable it is for him.
Stage one done for Tony.
Stand by.
Aaron Coates.
First ever competition, and a member of Silverstone range as well. So this is his first time ever competing in a stage. So it's this will be nerve-wracking for him.
He's hitting the first couple of targets. I'm not too sure if he hit that first one. We'll find out shortly, but those ones are down, no problem.
I'm not sure he's got that one left-hand side. I think he might have left one up. He's struggling a bit longer distance ones.
It's not a range officer's job to tell him if he's missed anything either, is it?
No. I mean, James is there holding the microphone to record each shot and hold the buzzer. And whilst he can be helpful,
There's one on the right, one on the left.
he can't give any guidance. There you go. He's a little bit of guidance there from James, but it's first of a competition for Aaron. So.
If you finished.
Oh, the big if. That's a giveaway.
That's nice of James. That yes, the big if. So that's the one he missed further on. It's very easy to miss a target. You think it's not, but if everything's against the clock, you go as fast as you can. So it's easily done.
Calvin Leighton, another one of
Yep, he's a
your guys as well, isn't he?
Northampton Target Rifle Club again. There's about 6 of them shooting here today. Now Kevin's actually a serving police officer, so this is obviously part of his fun.
Bye.
So he would have been training before coming into this tournament with the police, do you think?
He's not actually an armed officer, he's armed support. So whilst he is involved in the armed side, what we do here in practical mini rifle is probably somewhat different to what he would do as a serving police officer. Nice. Yep, it's a good run this so far. Oh.
Curse of the commentator there, John.
It is a bit, yeah, my fault. Misfire. See, again, it's a good example for the competition. If there's any problem with your gun in a course of fire, tough luck. You have to clear it. In this example, I think he had a light strike and then couldn't clear the round. But the clock keeps ticking and you keep going until you finish all the targets off. That will hurt his score. It's a shame. It was a good run till then. Unlucky in the first stage.
Rifle is clear, flag in, please.
There's not much you can do about jams either. It's just part and parcel of shooting.
It's part of what we do. You have to do with having a reliable gun is very good.
Stand by.
Ben Ducker, some would say one of the favourites.
Oh, he's creeping a bit there. Yeah, James won't tolerate that. James won't tolerate that. Looks awkward, but he's knocked him down. Again, my curse again. Yep, struggling a bit longer distance one. Oh, I got it down. Well, he's shooting the wood up.
Like a wood chipper. Yeah, good run by Ben.
Good run. Yeah, again, first stage, everyone's very nervous. So it's a nice little run though.
Stand by.
Matt Cox, another one of the Northampton Target Rifle Club members. It's almost dominating this stage. Matt's been shooting, and again, our winter league this year, so he should be fairly aware of the style of course so far we have. And he's knocking these down nicely.
Yeah, he's found his range straight away.
He missed the one that Aaron missed as well. Part of the art form of designing a course of fire is to make it challenging, but also not make it too awkward. So obviously where I put that target earlier on, I made it too awkward, but it's all part of the fun.
Again, we see the transition between the short targets to the long targets, catching them out.
Yeah, like the nearest targets here are 10 metres, the furthest ones are 35, so good run there.
Here are stage 1 results. It's Tom Samples from Thorny Motorsport and Silverstone Shooting Centre.
Yes, he's one of the range officers here, so obviously he used some local knowledge there. Ben did okay on 7th though, I think slower than that one.
Yes, you down in 5th place there, John.
Yeah, I think there's a few of us, obviously it's a stage we do quite a lot.
Matt Cox down in 14th.
And what happens if you look at the scores, how it works, just to explain, is that the winner of the stage gets 100%, then everybody else beyond that is a percentage of that score. So again, it's their score divided by the time, and then obviously as it goes further down, so you see the percentages drop.
That's the first stage out of 6 out of the way. 5 stages to go. This is what stage 2 looks like. Please join us after the break. Welcome back to the first round of the Hawke Optics British Mini Rifle Championship. The competitors are getting ready for stage 2. Here's the stage map. John, what are we looking at?
A little bit different here. We have some swinging targets. So they have to shoot the metal plate target at the bottom, and that will then activate a moving target which has a paper target on it. So hit the plate, there's a target to shoot, and obviously a moving target makes it slightly harder. Targets are about 40 metres away and about 20 metres away. And Matt Cox starts off. Gone to one knee. See, now you see he's leaning his elbow on his knee. That gives him a more stable shooting position. Plate's going down nicely.
Is it best to let them stop, or do you hit them as they're moving?
I've been quite kind in this stage, yes. So what I've done is allow it so there's a bit more time. Normally when swinging targets, you don't give much time. But specifically in this one, I allowed a bit of time, so a little bit of time to wait to get some targets on it. And notice there, you see there's a wooden post in front of him, and you think it might be easier to lean on that, but that's actually outside the shooting area. So he's smartly realised he can't touch that post, otherwise he'll end up with a 10-point penalty for each time he shoots around touching outside. So that red marker on the floor is as far as he can go.
Now you notice the target stopped.
Yeah, he's taking his time, and then obviously shoot the targets as they're static. So later on the championship, they get a lot harder.
We've got all the targets at the back as well to hit.
Yeah, that's at 50 metres. So those are mini targets at 50 metres. So again, he's kneeling position, much more stable, try and maximise his scores.
At this stage, is it more important to be quick or accurate?
Well, generally the longer the stage in terms of distance, accuracy is more important than time. The shorter the stage, the distance, sometimes time is more the essence. But there are guys who write spreadsheets on these to work them out. And Ronnie is now up. Again, super senior.
Very accurate. There you go, first one down.
Yep, struggling on that one a little bit, but got it in the end. Now, it's interesting that Ronnie's not going down onto one knee is because Ronnie has bad knees. So he struggles to get down there. So he'll be standing until he's forced to do so, I think. But at 15 metres standing stationary, it's not an easy shot.
And this is with a magnifier scope as well?
Yes, he runs a magnifier on this one, so to get the distance out of it. It's very hard. I mean, a lot of the younger guys will shoot a red dot with no magnification at 50 metres, but I think for most people that's tough.
Yeah, you see some of the competitors are running dual optics as well.
You will see more and more of that as we go through competition. I think, yeah, you couldn't quite see the other targets. He's making sure he gets a good angle on them. This is one of those stages you do plan it. Just leaping up and rattling through the rounds, what you'll end up missing targets. So what Ronnie is doing here, he's counting the targets and counting the rounds onto them. And what I think he's realised, he's missed a target. He wants to go and put 2 into it to make sure.
You can always go back and top up targets as well.
You can, yes. It's just time consuming, and obviously it's all against the clock. It's very important. But I think a good clear run for Ronnie there. He'd be happy with that.
Stand by.
Ben Ducker with the bipod.
Yes, a kneeling bipod, this is called. Not entirely sure it's working at the moment. Oh, finally got it down. Yeah, bipods are allowed, and you're allowed to take them off during the competition, but you can't change your optics. So in this example, he's trying the bipod to get a more stable position, but I'm not entirely convinced it's the best way forward.
If you start the tournament using a certain piece of equipment, do you have to continue using that piece of equipment throughout it?
It's per competition, so yes, if you start the day with certain things mounted on your gun, being optics, they must stay on there, but there is an exclusion for bipods, so it can be dropped actually midway through a stage. So in this example, I'm pretty sure Ben's is a quick release bipod, so it'll drop off when he stops needing it, which is awkward because sometimes it can drop off while you still need it.
And especially on this stage where if it drops outside the red box, it's a DQ, is it?
No, it doesn't. The red box doesn't apply to equipment if it drops out there. If he took a shot with the bipod outside that box, yes, it would account. So there you go, fell off.
That's Ben done.
I don't think he'll be happy with that. I don't think that bipod worked as he'd hoped it would do.
It's been a mixed day for me today. I think some of the rust is showing from having been in quarantine for the last 2 months. John has put on some very challenging stage, and I've definitely taken some learning points away. So there's been some good and some less good today.
Which has been the best one?
I think the best stage is probably one I've just come off, which is the 6 poppers and 6 papers at sort of about 100 yards or so. I had a plan, was able to make use of my bipod, got some good hits. Slightly slower than I would have liked, but it was a fun stage.
So here are the results for stage 2. Jim Starley taking the honours, followed by Tom Samples and John Williamson.
Yeah, and then Ben was down in 8th. I didn't think he'd be happy with that run, with that bipod. Didn't work for him at all, really, I think. Kelvin did well, 6th. It's a good little run from him as well.
John Thorne just out of the top 10, unfortunately, there. Then Ronnie Graham had a really good showing there.
That's good, yeah. 12th for Ronnie. Brownway Super Scene is a good run from him, especially. And then Marty Secker rolling out on 20th, so I think he'd be fairly happy with that, I think.
Paul van den Bosch taking the honours in the Super Senior category ahead of Ronnie Graham.
As you see down the bottom there, we've got a few on 0%. So that's also where people who had a few targets missed. So they still score, but not score as well as they'd like to. Kind of ruins their stage a little bit. But 1 out of 6, still more to play for.
So John, we've seen a few stages now. A lot of the competitors are a bit rusty, as you can probably imagine. I've heard a lot of language being spouted around in regards to Alpha, Charlie and Mike. Could you just explain a bit more about that before we please?
Yeah, it explains the scoring structure. Normally with scoring, you imagine it's a bullseye target, and normally the top score is 10 out to 1. With practical shooting, because speed is so important, the scoring is simplified. So what I've got here is a standard, what we call an IPSC standard target, and it has basically 3 scoring zones. It has an alpha zone here, which scores 5 points. Then you've got a Charlie zone here, which scores 3 points. And then right at the outside here is a delta, D, which is 1. So you can imagine in terms of shooting skill, you want to get, every target needs 2 shots to score. You can shoot more at them, but only 2 score. So 2 alphas will be 10 points, but obviously 2 Charlies, 2 deltas, less points. So you're looking basically to have the most alpha scores, which are 5 points each, to get the maximum score. But obviously from speed perspective, the question is, are you best off taking more time to get 2 alphas, or shoot much faster and risk having a lower score? Because remember, the scoring is done by your time divided by your score.
Paper targets have been explained, but have you seen on the footage there are other targets out there? John, talk us through it.
Yeah, we've done the paper targets, which obviously is 2 rounds, 2 bullets per target to score. But with practical shooting, there's lots of different target types. 2 or 3 more common ones we've seen here in the first round is what's called poppers, and these are the big metal plates, and they have to be shot and then fall over to score. So they need 1 round technically to fall over, but if they don't fall over, they don't score. And they call 5 points each as well. We also have what's called plates. Again, little small round metal plates, and again it's 1 round to fall over for that one. And also some interesting targets like the little yellow balls we have here. They need to be shot and then fall off their perch to score. They all score 5 points, so technically it's not 2 shots, but they must fall over to score. And what's interesting about practical shooting is you can have a course of fire that mixes paper with some steel and some popper, and it makes it an interesting way of playing the game.
Fantastic, there you go. There's some more about the targets. Let's head back out to the action. And here we have stage 3. John, talk us through it.
We've got 2 sets of plates here. So see the box behind, 25 metres away, 2 sets of 6 plates. They've got to basically shoot each 6 plate. They must fall to score. and they've got to shoot either side of that barrier. So it should be a nice fast stage here.
Marty Secker getting us underway.
So he's doing the left-hand plates first underneath the barrier, and then the right-hand plate so he can move to the other side. He's smartly using the table. All 6 down in 6. Well done, Marty. Good shot. Oh, that last one. That's a
That was
killer.
almost a perfect run by Marty there.
That was
Well
very
done.
good. That last one was a killer, though. Matt Cox. Going different direction to Marty. He's shooting high. There you go.
Once that first one goes down, everything seems to be easier.
They get the 0, then they see where the rounds are going, then they can carry it through. The first shot is always the one where they're not entirely sure where the 0 is on the gun. And it will change. Obviously, shooting lower down will be a different point of aim. But I think he's knocking down pretty happy with that.
Aaron Coates up with his Smith & Wesson.
Now, Aaron, the member here, has probably shot these plates more than anybody here. Oh, there's a problem. I think it's a gun problem.
You've got a jam.
Yeah. Again, just shows up. If you have a problem with a gun in your stage, tough luck. Keep going. Yeah, it sounds like a round jammed in there. This will be a good test for Aaron. This is very stressful when this happens in a stage. I know from personal experience. But he's got to keep his head, make sure that muzzle is still in a safe direction, clear the gun and carry on. There's no mulligans in practical mini rifle. Yeah, he's got a bit flustered here. It's quite easily done. Go on, Karen. Keep it going.
Now over to the left side. It can be rather off-putting once you've got your eye in, and then you have to deal with that jam and then go straight back into it, but he's recovered well here.
It's tough, and a short stage like this, it'll hurt him really badly on the score, which is a shame.
Favourite stage was probably stage 2 actually. It was a varied one. There was a moving target we had to activate, which was a bit of a new challenge for me, and then slightly longer, which I'm pretty happy. I've got a high-powered scope on it, so I think I brought the right kit, hopefully.
And you've only been shooting for just over a year. What made you get into shooting?
I used to do archery, used to do air rifles as well, and this was a bit of a more dynamic challenge, and didn't realise practical mini rifle exists, and turns out Silverstone's one of the best places to get started, so yeah, pretty happy I'm here.
So here's the results after stage 3. Ben Ducker taking a win on that stage ahead of Steve Goff and John Thorne in third.
Yeah, I like shooting plates. They're quite fun. I have to say, they're a good little stage. Again, one of our guys, Tom Sample's top 10, so he's been second, and 10, so he's doing a good little run so
My
far.
second first time in the top 10 then, finishing 8th.
Kelvin down 11th, Matt Cox in 13th, Tony Porter in 17th. But you see the scores are all still quite high. Everyone's in a 60-70%, even down at 20th place. So just goes to show little short stages can be very close together.
And Aaron Coates down 29th. That really did ruin his stage.
Yeah, that was a bad time to get a jam, so it knocked him all the way down. So sometimes you get a stage, it can really penalise you badly. It's a shame.
But please do join us after the break. Welcome back to the Hawke Optics British Mini Rifle Championship. 3 stages down, 3 to go. This one involves John's yellow balls.
Oh, they're special, these yellow balls, I have to say. Yep, little short stage. Unloaded gun. So magazine on one table, gun on the other. Stay in the square box. Shoot the balls either side. It's a reasonably easy one in terms of shooting-wise, but having an unloaded start means the old fingers and thumbs come into play. And a nice smooth process of loading the gun and shooting is quite crucial for this stage. Otherwise, you will end up losing. And time should be 4 or 5 seconds maximum for it.
Ronnie Graham starting us off. They're not easy. They may look easy, this, but a lot of competitors don't like these balls.
The problem with the balls is that you have to hit them square on, otherwise they spin round. And also, I've put them only 4 meters away. So what a lot of shooters will be doing is shooting over the top, because their guns will be zeroed at 25 meters. And obviously if it's 0 at 25 meters, it'll aim too high at very close targets. So what you'll see is a lot of them shooting the wood in front because they're not aiming high enough. They're aiming dead on the ball, and what should be is aiming above it.
And that causes a problem for the shooters later on as there becomes a bit of a hole underneath the ball that you can't get out of.
Can be a bit. This is Neil Wheeler, first ever competition as well. And again, you see, he's figured it out. He's aiming high. Not quite though. Yep. I think he's going to need to top up his ammunition there. Now you see he's hitting the wood underneath. He's not actually hitting the ball at all.
It's lodged into the log there.
Yeah, he's out of ammo. When I did this course of fire, I wasn't quite expecting people to shoot more than 25 rounds here, to be honest. But come on, last one. There we got it in the end.
There's still one left.
Oh, you're right. And a jam. Oh dear, this is going to really kill his time, I'm afraid. Again, shooting too low.
Oh, done for Neil. And Aaron Coates is getting better and better as this competition goes on.
He's being very deliberate, making sure he loads up nice and neatly. Slow, but that's a part of the experience side. Yes, he hasn't racked the action.
He wants to avoid any jams like the previous stage.
And you see Clive, the RO, there holding the microphone. So that's the timer that starts the stage off and also records each shot.
Reload's going to cost him some time.
That poor Wood's getting a kick in, isn't it, really? Paul van den Bosch. Now, Paul's got a lot of experience, so he should be nice. And yes, he's figured this out quite quickly. Oh, I think he left one up.
One there, yeah.
He's got the 0 right, though.
Here are the results after stage 4. James Williamson taking the win, Kelvin Leighton second place, and then John third again. You're having a couple of stages.
Always a prize whenever the bride, it appears. Kelvin will be happy with that, though. The second place for him, he's done well. Jim down in 4th that time.
And it was Ben Ducker in 10th place.
And then Marty Secker again, 20th. Marty's very consistent. He's been 19th, 20th and 20th so far, so he's doing very well.
He'll be happy not being at the bottom.
But you see, again, percentages. They drop heavily. I saw Neil Wheeler at 27th there. That time really hurt him on that one. I think is unfortunate.
Now on to one of the most important things about shooting, safety. John.
It's crucial. Obviously, the most important factor of all shooting sports is making sure people are safe. And we obviously follow, first of all, the 4 rules of firearm safety, which is to never point a gun at anybody you not want to shoot. Make sure you know where your bullet is going, check your backstop. Never put your finger on the trigger until you're about to shoot. And thirdly and fourthly, always assume the gun is loaded. Now, you may have seen the stages that the competitor is there, and right on their shoulder is another guy who's basically holding the timer. Now, he's the range officer. Now, his job is to simply make sure that the competitor never puts his finger on the trigger when he's moving or points the muzzle in an unsafe direction. If the competitor breaches either of those rules, they're immediately disqualified from the entire match. So it's absolutely sacrosanct. It's very important to consider that practical shooting, whilst it's a dynamic sport, a lot of moving going on, is actually one-on-one shooting. So each competitor has their own range officer who's right next to them, making sure that finger's off the trigger when they're moving and the muzzle's always pointing in a safe direction. And you can be disqualified one shot into the match. And you never get disqualified from the stage, it's always the entire match. So it's absolutely crucial.
Okay, and if all the competitors stick to those rules and guidelines, it's a safe sport.
Well, practical shooting in terms of safety is the most statistically safe shooting sport in the UK already. Mainly for that reason, you know, in things like clay pigeon shooting and field shooting is far more dangerous in terms of incidents happening or incidents being recorded. And again, the main thing is every single person with a gun in their hand has a range officer. And remember, the range officer who's watching this shooting isn't looking at the scoring. All they are looking at is where the muzzle is pointed and where the finger's on the trigger. And in any transgression is immediately jumped on straight down. It's a very safe shooting sport, despite the fact, obviously, the concept of being walking around with a gun, perceivably you could see as dangerous. The exact opposite is true.
Well, thank you very much, John. So let's head back onto the stages and continue with the action. On to the penultimate stage of the day, John. What have we got?
Long distance on this one, 90 metres, which for most of these guys shooting this competition, they've never shot more than 50, some of them, so it's quite a bit of an eye-opener. So you've got some plates at slightly shorter distance, followed by some micro targets at further distance away.
Somebody we've not seen so far, Salvatore Monteleone in the senior category.
So you've got the metal plates, there you go, they go down, and then you've got the paper targets at the back. Now the metal plates, the trick is you have to assume it's fallen over. If you wait for it to fall over, it's very time consuming.
But if you assume and it doesn't fall over, then that's time consuming as well.
It tends to kill your time a little bit. A lot of shooting is confidence. With the plates, you need to shoot them towards the top of the plate. If you shoot it low down, it won't fall over. And then obviously here, if you look at the stage, they're not allowed to lean on those tyres. You see the red marker? So the temptation to lean on those tyres would get them a 10-point penalty per shot. So Salvatore is smart enough to realise that. But 90 metres standing free, this is tough shooting for people who normally may not have their own range. A couple of the competitors today told me they've never shot more than 25 metres in their life, so suddenly making 90 metres standing.
Has an effect on your muscles as well, holding your gun for that long for 90 metres.
Yeah, you see Salvatore's holding the gun further back with his arm. That's not a common way of shooting. A lot of people shoot further out to give more support. But
Are you ready?
Wayne Hemmings, first time you've seen him? He's doing the plates first thing. Generally, most people shoot the plates, then the papers, then the plates again. You see there's markers there, so you can't quite see them.
First one down. What you'll probably see as well is them actually hitting the targets, but the target's not staying up like just happened.
You have to hit them at the top. The target's all calibrated to make sure they will fall over. But he's struggling a bit on this one.
Just hit that one again.
Yeah, I think he's getting annoyed at it now.
Mark James is giving up on that one.
I think he's decided let's get the papers out of the way and go back to that plate target. It can get that some way. You think the target hates you. It's psychological. Go back to it and get it later on. Now, Wayne's a good example. He said he's never shot anything more than 25 metres ever. So I think he's doing very well at the moment, even hitting them.
At this sort of range, how much elevation do you have to put on the aim?
Well, there's a lot of conversation. The bullets don't drop over this sort of distance, a tiny, tiny amount, but it all depends where the gun is zeroed to. So if he's zeroed at 25 metres, he'll probably have to be aiming about 3 inches above that at this point, which is again why the issue in terms of the shorter distance stuff, you have to shoot a lot higher.
Back to his nemesis.
Come on, go down. Hit it again.
Oh, is it it?
It's glued there, mate. That's what it is.
Another mag change.
He's not going to give up. I'll give him that. At this point in time, you see from a scoring perspective, he might have been better off to leave it. Oh, it's gone down. Basically got it.
Well done.
But the time he's taken to get that one target down, it may have been better to score just to ignore it and take the time penalty for it.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Stieg off. First time I've seen the Lantac.
Yes, Steve runs a Lantac gun, which is not a common rifle. It's a reasonably expensive one, but it's very, very well respected. And a couple of the guys swear by them. They're a little bit heavier than the Smith & Wesson. I think that target fell over out of sympathy there somehow. So obviously it scared a Lantac.
Yeah, Steve's getting the look that Wayne didn't.
Yeah, good point. Yes, yeah. Poor old Wayne gets stuffed, and Steve gets the benefit. It's last paper he's getting first. He'll need to move over to get those plates. As you can see, there's a sight barrier there. They're not allowed to shoot through it. One down. Last one. There we go. Well done, Steve. Nice one.
Unloading should clear. It's clear, secure chamber. Are you ready? Stand by.
Zach Ramage now. It's interesting how the right-handed shooters, left-handed shooters always go one way. There's no right or wrong. It's a real comfortable for. Yep.
So you're left-handed. Which way would you go?
I would always go to the right first because it means then when I'm running across the stage, it's a natural run. So same way. If you see how Zach is running, left-handed shooter, he's opening up his stance as you run faster. If you go the other way, you're in a closed stance. But whatever works for you as a shooter, really. These are harder than I was expecting them to be. They should be pretty easy, I thought, but they're tough for most
that
shooters.
sort of distance, they're the same colour as the sandbank.
No, you can see him. Yeah, there's no way. I'm not taking that. It's a perfectly visible target there. If you can't see that at 90 metres, you shouldn't have a gun in your hand, frankly.
That's a very good point, John.
Of course, the problem with the paper targets is that you can't see where your rounds are going, so you really have to be confident where you're shooting. I mean, it looks like they're hidden in the sand, but for all we know, they're all missing the target. That's the beauty of it. He needs to know where he's aiming for. It's not a small target, but knowing what your score is, bear in mind the difference between an alpha and a delta is 5 to 1 point. That's quite a big difference, especially with 6 targets.
What does the target look like through a scope at that range?
Exactly the same, just smaller.
Please do join us after the break for the final stage. So welcome back to the first round of the Hawke Optics British Mini Rifle Championship. Here is the results for stage 5. Jim Starley followed by Ben Ducker and John Thorne. That's the third time so far you've been in the top 3, John.
If I come third again, I'm going to quit. I'm getting bored of it now. I really am. Tom Samples again, top 10 again for him. It's good for him. And Stieg Off, obviously the first we saw him shoot 13th. Again, good score.
Tony Porter, Aaron Coates making moves up the table.
And Zach on 18th, we saw him shoot as well. That was a good little run as well. So clearly they're liking the longer distance shoots from here.
Matt Cox 21st. Who else? We've got Marty Secker in the 20s again.
And again, as you see the score lower down, there's some drops of percentages. Obviously, a few people had a load of misses on those paper targets. So whilst they shoot them, you've got to get a high score as well.
So on to the final stage of the day. John, what do we got here?
Run and gun. Everyone loves these stages. So what you've got is a load of targets either side of the range. Barriers in the way so you can't shoot them in one position. And you literally, the buzzer goes off, run down there, shoot everything you can see. Within reason, obviously. This is probably the more popular stage for people. But micro targets, so they're quite small. So whilst it sounds easy, they may be tough. But Jim's going to start us off.
Shooting a Ruger.
Yes, he's the only one shooting Ruger in the competition. More AR platforms are more popular here. Jim likes these kind of stages. Then run and gun is his favourite.
A bit more thinking involved as well, isn't there? Okay, joining me now is Jim. Jim, you've got a huge history involving guns. Your family was big into guns, and that's where it's come from for you. First day back shooting today, how's it gone?
I think it's gone quite well. No misses, no malfunctions, so quite happy with that. It seemed to go well.
Good mix of stages as well today. What's been your favourite?
Lots of nice shooting challenges. I think the 2 long ones I enjoyed. So what was it, the 100 metre and the 50 metre with lots of targets at the back. Can't remember the numbers, but yeah.
Is there anyone that you've not really liked?
No. No, there's a few new faces, a few old faces, people I've known for a long time, so it's good to see them, good to catch up.
Yeah. So, you're probably way up at the top of the leaderboard today, aren't you?
I think I've done okay. Wait and see.
Very
Wait and
humble.
see for the results. There's a lot of faces I don't know here, so I don't think I've done well.
When you first got here, who was your main competitor? Who did you have your eye on?
Probably James Williamson.
Yeah.
He's normally pretty good.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Back to Stieg Off. Now the art form here is to try and move the least amount of times, because every time you stand still and you shoot targets, that's what takes the time. So if you can shoot more than one target, one position, you have more time, the less time expended. But obviously with lots of targets down there.
Just seen him change mag as well while he's moving. That's pretty important as well. You don't want to be changing mag while you're stationary.
That's right, yeah. If any time you're moving, you're losing time. So that's the time to change magazines. And this stage, you had to change magazines. It was more than 32 rounds. I think he did a nice run there, though. Nice and smooth. Well, I'm here now with Team Williamson, or at least 2/3 of Team Williamson. You're missing one. How have you found today?
It's been a great day, hasn't
Oh, very good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far. Not too many mishaps. Only one mic.
So, of course, you're part of the same family group, so we don't have to worry about this too much for you. But you're missing one from your team today.
My daughter Faye, who's normally with us as well, complete the trio. We're quite fortunate and very lucky in so much that we're quite well sponsored by various organisations around the country and America now. We're now sponsored by Mossberg as well, and we've got some shotguns coming soon. I think it's down to the fact that we're all reasonably good shooters, and it's quite unique with the 3 of us, I think.
Now, you're more used to shotgun shooting.
Yeah, shotgun is very much my forte, but obviously we've always been involved with rifle shooting, and I do love mini rifle shooting. It's just not something that we've concentrated on as much in the last few years, but will be from now on. So,
how do you find it compare in terms of practical shooting?
Well, practical, you can always transfer the same skills across. I mean, stage planning, things like that, the way you approach it, your mindset is very translucent between the two, isn't it? But obviously you haven't got the recoil instinct of a shotgun, so you can go a little bit quicker with a rifle, which suits my style of shooting, I guess, in a way.
Take that into account. What's been the favourite stage today?
The run-down stage on the long stage for me, because that's coming in and out of targets, acquisition, and then gone again. That's nice.
Yeah.
I've not been practiced with distance stuff, especially with the dot. There's a few things I'll probably change for the next round, knowing that we're shooting out to so far. And some of the guys have got tripods and bipods and all sorts going on. So, yeah, there's things we've learnt from the day. But yeah, it's been great. Good fun.
And you said just one mic today?
So far, yeah. And the really annoying part, it was on the easiest target, the static big one at the back, dead plain, like, you know. But again, my favourite stage, same stage, and I only wished almost, because we love a good blag, is that all the steel plates have been out on the rundown as well.
Yeah.
Well, later on the series, there's a 50 plate stage to shoot.
That would have been awesome. Yeah.
Well, look, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But good luck. One more stage to go.
Yeah, indeed.
Good luck, last one.
Thank you.
Steve, now you're actually a member here at Silverstone Shooting Centre, so you have no excuse for any misses today. How's it been?
I'm looking for the excuses. So yeah, I've been a member and shot here a lot, but it's my first proper competition in mini rifle, so it's the first time I'm doing it whilst the timer's going off next to me, so yeah, steep learning curve.
So of course, crucial with practical shooting is all about speed, and also your shooting history is more about accuracy, isn't it?
Yeah, I've spent many years shooting extreme long range, precision, slow, precise, and this is as far away from that as you can possibly get. So it's easy to go and try and rush, so a lot of it today has been about trying to slow myself down when I have issues or I'm trying to get something right.
So the perennial question, which is more fun, the longer distance shooting or practical?
I've got to say practical.
Well done.
Sorry, F-class guys.
How many stages left to go?
One left.
One left. And which is that, do you know?
I think it's the speed steals.
Oh, okay. You'll find that fun. You shot them before, so.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, thanks, guys, and have good fun.
Thank you.
Joining me now at the end of the day is Salvatore. Salvatore, it's been an interesting day, plenty of interesting stages. How have you found it?
I enjoy all day. I enjoy every moment. It was a very fun, and I can't wait for this day. So I'm very happy for everything organized, everything beautiful.
What's been your favourite stage?
Favorite stage is the running one.
The running one?
Yeah, if you don't run, there's no fun.
Wayne Hemmings, we're catching up with you halfway through the day here at Silverstone Shooting Centre. This is your first tournament. Interesting story as to why you got into shooting. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, basically I was away on a family holiday and one of the activities on the campsite that we had was laser clay pigeon shooting. So gave it a go, absolutely loved that side of it. 2 weeks later on my return, booked up for some courses at a local association to me, did some courses and then basically fell in love with shooting, and here I am today.
It's a bit different using a real gun to a laser though, isn't it?
It is a little bit different, yeah, a little bit different, hence is all the training courses and stuff like that we do to this point. So yeah, got them under my belt. And yeah, as I said here, first competition today, so...
Yeah. How's your day going?
Yeah, not too bad. A bit of an eye-opener, to be honest with you. I'm slowly learning that speed is not necessarily the way to go, so you've got to find that balance between speed and accuracy. So yeah, but yeah, it's thoroughly enjoyable.
Chris, so how have you enjoyed today so far?
Oh, it's been great actually, yeah. It's good to get back on the range really. It's been a long while, I haven't been in the country for a while, so...
You've been out of the country, have you?
Yeah, I've been in Canada for the last 6 months, so it's been about 9 months since I've actually shot anything.
So straight back in here and straight into a 100 metre match?
Yeah, first one off on the day, so...
have you shot much this sort of distance?
I've shot very long distance stuff, but not much practical shooting at 100 yards. Most stuff short up and a lot of shotgun.
Yeah, you're more shotgun in terms of practical.
Yeah, mini rifle haven't really done a huge amount, apart from at the start, but since then I haven't done a massive amount. I've just focused on practical shotgun since then.
How do you think the skills compare?
The whole competition aspect, the mental game, is definitely very similar. It's just different in terms of loading, slightly different planning, and then it's all about getting sort of alphas and charlies and things, whereas in shotgun you just got to make sure you hit the target down really. So.
It's not hard to hit a 10-inch plate from 3 feet away.
No, exactly. It's a bit easy on that sense, but the loading is a bit more sort of mental arithmetic to calculate when to put your shotgun loads in with practical shotgun.
Have you had any stages that you really liked today?
I like the one on the right on the 100 metre range where you're running down, so sort of shooting on the move left and right. That was probably my favourite so far.
And the worst one?
Probably that one I just did there with the swinging targets and the 50 yards. Had a couple of misses on there, just because I'm not really sure where my round is going exactly. So topping up on a couple of ones, but...
So you got one more stage left to shoot?
Yeah, one more left.
Good. Well, good luck with that, and thanks for coming along.
Thank you very much.
And we're up with David Ashcroft. Got to see him shoot before, and his Star Wars gun, which is a Stryborg, which is slightly different from some of the guns here. It seems to work very well.
We will get into the differences in the guns and what makes them better or lesser.
Well, David's a big pistol and shotgun shooter, so don't often see his gun out, but it seems pretty good.
So Alpha and a Charlie there.
They heard you. That's a good clean run. I think you'd be happy with that.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Back with Zach. It's very easy to run past the target at this stage. Once you run past it, I think, missed it, got to go back to it, which obviously, A, slow, and also be very careful of your muzzle angle.
Yeah, because if you have to go back to the start of the stage, do you have to run backwards with the gun, or do you just have to keep the gun pointing downrange?
As long as the gun's pointed downrange, you can run any direction you want, but obviously the main thing is where the muzzle... I think he missed that lower target, I think. I don't think I saw a score on those ones. Again, easily done. You think it's their target, you should shoot it. Nah, it's unfortunate. He's run the gun dry, has to reload stationary, that'll lose him time. Yeah, I think he's unloaded there as a bit of a frustration.
So here are the results for stage 6. Jim Starley taking the honours, followed by Ben Ducker. It's going to be cat and mouse between them all year, I think.
It does seem that way, isn't it? They're both sort of swapping positions up there. Matt Cox up for 14th again. Marty Secker 21st. That guy's consistent, so 20th, 20th, 21st and 19th.
Well, I hope you enjoyed all the action here from Silverstone Shooting Centre. John, it's been a fantastic day. Thank you for putting on this event.
That's been great. I mean, this is the first of the 6-round championship. It's the first time ever we've had this level of competitors and this level of shooting in the country. The Hawke Championship, I think, will go from strength to strength. So looking forward to the next round in a week's time or so.
Yeah, me too. So please do tune in next time.